Yo, this for the chosen ones. It's about to get deep. If you're mentally weak, go ahead and scroll now. I'm about to break down his story so y'all can see why it keeps repeating itself. This is our major fall in frequency into the black hole, which is the black hole sun we all seen during the eclipse. I want y'all to pay attention to all the dates I'm about to mention inside this video so you can correlate everything yourself and do your own research. It all started with World War I, as y'all can see, from July the 28th, 1914 to November the 11th, 1918. They placed this realm under low frequencies by using towers. They realized they had to create a system to take over our minds as one collective. Because they could take us out in one area, but then there'd be a whole nother area that's reproducing, not going with their program. Meaning we'll never lose, unless we fought each other. But they knew eventually we'll start remembering what actually happened. So they continue to build on the system that they started off with years ago. And it's what we call the internet. So just imagine we're already under the Skynet. Now you're choosing to enter a net knowingly. Also note the countries mentioned. This is on the same side I said they initially landed and took over and eventually got them to help take over us here in the Americas. Even ancient texts describe this exact same loop that we are in right now. Because as a collective, we are still asleep. So just 2 years after the war, ironically, the first municipal electric pole was placed in Los Angeles out of all cities in America. So I'm sure we all heard of the Wall Street crash back in 1929, right? Which was basically in the war era, because what they did was manipulate the market with their fraud. They built up their own system and took everything they had out, leaving the average Joe like us stranded with nothing. Then to add fuel to the fire, they had the nerve to create the SEC to prevent things like that from happening again. Basically more rules so they can manipulate, and we can't. But things like this is all done for because of Chevron deference that recently was overturned. And of course, I make plenty of videos about everything I'm talking about in deeper detail. Just check them out yourself because I can't put everything in one video. Anyways, I always mention the market because it's our literal lifeline. Just imagine your body being pure energy. You place that energy into a dollar bill, and then you give them your dollar bill, and they harvest your energy somewhere and use it for their own needs, of course. And I know we all been here for this market crash in 2007 and 2008. And take a wild guess at what formed the year after this. Bitcoin. That is where they place all the money, which is actually the energy. And they're about to do the exact same thing again. They're going to drain all the markets. Then they're going to place everything into digital currencies, causing a crazy bull market while all the other markets will never recover. And I want y'all to sit and think about why the creator was never verified. Probably because it's the GOV. They literally know everything. Why wouldn't they know this? So back to this, the World War I. As y'all can see on the bottom, it mentions the Spanish disease. And notice how the way they say the movement of large numbers of soldiers and civilians was a major impact of it. When really it was just the soldiers. Because we all know when you go in the military, they make you line up and take all kinds of hot sauces. That was how they was able to spread viruses, diseases, and mutations through humanity by our consent to allowing it to manifest. Also, a partial reset happened during this era. Everything they did was to cover that up also. To keep us in the darkness so they could keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. By mixing the war with the pandemic, all in order to drain our energy to keep this place running. I mean, just think about it. When women was allowed to actually make a choice and who they wanted to run this country, I'm going to say, quote unquote. Again, this is the same era of their takeover / invasion. And I already know people get emotional over this one, but it's the truth. This is why it became a part of their design. The reason they wasn't able to make a choice is because they are childlike and incapable of making independent thought. This is why a man has to lead, because the Matrix is designed to trick your thoughts. This movement was created in order to remove power from the man to place it into the female, so our enemies later take it away from the female, then use it against both of us. And the ones get triggered by this are taken over by evil spirits, and they don't even know it. They can't control themselves, they can't control their thoughts. They're just out of control in general. And they do and say whatever they need to fight to uphold this system. I mean, just look at social media. There's countless examples, hardly in your real life too. So just 100 years ago, they couldn't make a choice because of this reason. And now They're making a choice that you could run the whole country. And you see that that's where they play with your emotions from, and that's what they're doing. Everything's a psyop. They already know you're not going to think about it on a deeper level, just a surface level, and they're going to just create a surface level they think you like. So once they're on the verge of basically fully taking us over, right, they use this as a weapon until they figured out a way to destroy God's immune system by using something physical that we can see to scare or coerce us into giving consent to destroy our immune system, which bypasses universal laws. Also note, this is the only thing that was completely eradicated in 1980. And take a wild guess what popped up in 1981. Yep, you have it right, folks. And this is literally a side effects from the hot sauces people took in order to prevent the previous disease I just mentioned just now in the video. Everything's correlated. Most people that ever gets this consented in one way or another, but it's all a setup because of them. All diseases, viruses, mutations, hell, even the cold weather came from them. We are living in their matrix, their quote unquote Saturn matrix. I will talk about World War II, but clearly our enemies formed all our current governments. We never won the war because we are still in it. We are literally in a war of different worlds, meaning different realities. And they need our souls in order to uphold their realities. It is us versus the Elohim, who is the Greys and the Pleiadians and their creations, which includes the dragons and the serpents, who are Neptune, Uranus, Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. They are negative frequency stars, which are spirits. Like, I hope y'all don't think this AI boom came out of nowhere. It's because they had help from the Greys and the Pleiadians. I mean, the first cell phone came out in 1973. That was like 50 years ago. And they was going for like $4,000. But nowadays, everyone got one. And that's because it's a weapon designed to lower our frequencies. It even appears as though they have a 10-year cycle to when they lower the frequency even more because of our rise. If you don't find anything that I just said in this video suspicious, I don't know what to tell you. Because they clearly took over everything within our lifetimes. All in order to control our mind in one collective. To get rid of God's image and turn it into theirs. Anyways, y'all know how I keep it. Y'all be gods. Peace.